Moving on now to short-lived Utopia news. Queensland. That's what happens when you let Australians get a little too Australian. Queensland has been going through a little bit of an identity crisis recently after in the last election it ended up putting the most Greens candidates in seats, but still remains the state whose state turd is a two-way tie between Pauline Hanson and Bob Katter. But on top of that, the world's largest nature reserve for the critically endangered coal mine. And with Tanya Plibersek, the Federal Environment Minister and proud mother of a brand new baby coal mine, giving the green light to the Isaac River coal mine in Queensland's Bowen Basin. Well, I guess that's more the black light to go ahead, right? Look, it's just nice that future generations will have the chance to see an active coal mine in person and not just hear stories about them from the history books. So that's very exciting. The Queensland government has, however, made a decision to increase royalties on high record coal prices, which has contributed to the $10 billion revenue windfall and the record surplus, allowing the state to fund some cost of living relief for Queenslanders, including the largest energy rebate in the country, which Queenslanders are going to need as the impact of the coal mines drives the heat in Queensland to higher and higher levels and makes it near impossible for them to live there without near constant air conditioning. Since coming to power after campaigning on greater climate action, Albanese's Labor government has enshrined into law a stronger emissions reduction target of 43% by 2030, has negotiated the introduction of a carbon cap for the country's biggest emitters, and in February blocked a coal mine on environmental grounds for the first time in history. But it is worth noting that they have refused to rule out new coal and gas projects, and the blocked project did not consider climate in its reasons for doing so, despite the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change saying any new fossil fuel projects are not compatible with the aim of the Paris Agreement, which is limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees. In fact, existing fossil fuel infrastructure actually needs to be urgently phased out. So I do worry that this method of gaining a surplus will serve as a blueprint going forward, but the blueprint will just consist of more and more coal mine approvals to gain those precious surpluses. The Queensland 2023 budget will see the Coal Royalty Boom Fund $550 energy rebate, free kindergarten, the aforementioned record surplus, and the most generous rebate of all states and territories, and which means many Queenslanders won't actually have to pay for electricity at all next year. Creating a utopia state where these kids will live in a perfect world. They will never know the harms caused by the generations before them as they sit in perfectly environmentally stable rooms looking out into the beauty of a world that they can never walk in before they simultaneously drown and burn to death in boiling water. And all of these things are thanks to the life-saving / destroying power of coal. Hail coal!